friends, it's day 6 of Paige's Love Bundle cut files, and I'm going to show you how I use Paige's floral heart cut file from today, designed this in the Silhouette Studio to make this layout that was on the Happy Scrappy place today. So let's start in the Silhouette Design Studio. I'm using both Paige's floral heart as well as my own scalloped heart, which is free on my website. And I opened it on another mat and brought it over to the floral heart cut file so that I could work on making them a similar size. What I want is that Paige's floral heart fit inside the scalloped heart. So I'm going to use the arrows to do that and then center both in the middle of my mat. And I'm going to group them so that I can bring them over to the edge because I wanted to have part of the heart on the left edge and part on the right edge. And I'm going to use the knife tool to do that. I'll just zoom in here and I'm going to cut along the line that you see on the edge of the mat. So you put your knife where you want to start, hold down your mouse and release it. And that will cut off the edge of the heart. So let's group that and bring it on over to the right side of my layout. So I think I want the heart to actually be just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to bring it back over to the left side and group that together so that when I enlarge the heart, both pieces enlarge equally at the same time. And so I can go back and drag the new size back over to the right side of the layout. And I didn't want them exactly opposite of each other. I wanted them a little askew, but I did want to do some stitching, so I don't want that too close to the edge. So I'm just going to make sure that when I print my photos at 2.25 by 2.25, I'm going to use the transform box to ensure the square I made is the correct size. I wanted to use 3 photos, so I'm going to make sure they fit onto my layout now that I've resized the heart. So they're just acting as sort of holding spots, so you know that your cut file is the right size. So the other thing I wanted to do was use a couple of the same flowers as part of my photo cluster. And I'm just going to use the knife tool to cut out a flower and a leaf from the cut file. I made a copy of it so we can just erase the rest of it when we've got our pieces. So drag out the little flower and cut off a leaf and just erase the rest of that. So let's get closer. We can see what's going on here. There's some wonky edges from where I used the knife, and if you double click on a cut file, it adds the point editing dots you see around the cut file. So if you point and hit your delete key, point on a dot, hit the delete key, it deletes that point. You can also point and drag a dot out or in to round off something that you've cut. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm either pointing and deleting that point, or I'm pointing to place a dot and moving the edge just to make it look a little more even, smooth, or round. And you don't have to be super specific because when your Cameo cuts this tiny flower, it won't be visible any teeny tiny little flaw. So let's do the same thing with the leaf. I double click to add the point editing dots, and I'm just going to point and either drag them out wider or point and delete any dots that I think will make it rounder. You'll have to play with this till you get used to this tool, but it's super handy. I just want the leaf to kind of look natural like the rest of the leaves in the cut file. So that looks good there. So I can copy these as many times as I want and build a little cluster back on the cut file. Just bring that into view here. I'm going to make it a little smaller. On my finished cut file, I used 2 flowers and 3 leaves. And if you're thinking of doing a similar layout, you might use 3 leaves and 2 flowers, or 3 flowers and 2 leaves, but I did like the odd number, and so that's how I designed it in the end. But if you followed me for a while, you know that I do design my cut files in the Silhouette Design Studio prior to cutting any paper, and I just like to save it that way in my library, and it's ready to go for next time. So thanks very much for joining me here today. If you have any questions, leave them in comments below. Have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.